Hello and hi and hey. Welcome back to another freaking episode of the Minecraft Let's Play. Today, I've got a story for you guys. It's called A Mountain. And I would like to read it to you guys. So, we're going to head over to the campfire. I'm going to tell you a story. And then you're going to go on an adventure with me while I tell the story. So this story's a little different than the last time I did one of these story episodes. This one is, I won't say unrelated to the Minecraft journey, but also a little unrelated. I think it's a lot more, metaphorical in a sense. Hello people, welcome to the subscriber campfire. Cool names on here. Just gonna show them off. Just gonna show off the names. Just show off all the people in my cool subscriber campfire that I'm really excited about. I should have slept first. Actually, let's go do that. All right, so buckle in, get all comfy and cozy. I'm gonna cozy up to the fire, and I'm actually gonna stand over here, and we're just gonna begin reading the book. And this is why this episode is coming out a little later than everything else, because I want it to be like a comfy cozy story before bedtime. So get all cozied up. Here we go, baby. This is a story about Jem. Jem is a rock. One day, while Jem was small, he and his mother were rolling to get something to eat, and Jem saw this big mountain. Jem was in awe. How can something so tall and formidable be so beautiful and mysterious? One day, I'm going to climb that mountain. His mother just chuckled to herself. Jem, darling, a mountain can be tough to climb. This subsided Jem's curiosity, for now, but his interest in the mountain would not disappear. Every day while Jem was small, he and his mom would roll down to the nearby lake to smell the flowers. The only problem is, Jem couldn't smell anything. He only saw how pretty the colors were. In the background of these flowers sat the mountain. "Mom," he said, "these flowers don't smell like anything." But his mother just persisted. "Try again. Sometimes it takes some time to be able to catch their beautiful scent." But Mom," his grumbling betrayed a simmering frustration. "What if tomorrow we try to climb the mountain? See if they have some new kind of flower at the very top. One that we can't see from way down here." But his mother just laughed it off. A mountain can be too scary for us little rocks. So Jem gave up, feeling defeated and frustrated. For now. One day, while Jem and his mother were on their way to the lake, Jem rolled across a crack in the ground and got a crack on his rock body. His mother began to panic and then exclaimed, "Too many cracks like that and I won't recognize you anymore. You have to be more careful." From that day forward, the two would take a different path. One day, his mother got too sick to roll down to the lake. Jem was a little sad, but his mom sent him to pick a flower for her anyway. The flower that Jem picked was a begonia, which was full of these lush pinks and magenta colors. It reminded Jem of the color of his mother's pinkish red lipstick that she would wear every day. The next day, his mom was still sick, so Jem decided to get another flower for her. It was a calla lily, this very small and white and pretty flower with a yellow tip inside. It reminded Jem of his mother's coffee mug, which she drank out of every day. The yellow tip reminded him of that small stain of coffee she couldn't get out. The next day, his mom was still sick, so he went to get her another flower, a myrtle. It looked like a white dandelion. He had hoped that his mother could make a wish upon it to get better quicker. The next day was the same as the last. Jem set out for his adventure to get his flower, but he found it a bit hard to choose which one he liked. "I wish I could smell them. That would make this decision a bit easier." But then Jim got an idea. Maybe there was a flower at the top of the mountain. So Jim sat off up the mountain to see if there was a good enough flower up there. Jim's journey was rough and treacherous. The slope of the mountain did not make it easy for Jim's rock body to hold on to the terrain, so he rolled at an angle to make it easier. The bears that haunted this mountain seemed to be after anything that moved, so Jim rolled slowly, that way you couldn't even really notice when you looked at him from a distance. On one particularly long day of Jim's climb, a freak snowstorm blew in and stopped Jim right in his tracks. While Jim traveled through it, the snow stung his skin, so Jim had to stop at a nearby cave and wait out the storm. When the light shone through the top of the cave, Jim had realized that he had another crack. Jim began to panic and didn't know what to do. Would his mom even recognize him by the time that he got back? A day went by, and the storm didn't let up. A week went by, and it stormed as hard as the first. A month went by, and still, it went on. But Jim could not wait any longer. Jim rolled to the entrance of the cave to see how much further, but the top of the mountain was closer than ever. At the top was the most beautiful flower that he had ever seen, a flower with red petals that slowly faded into yellow, like a fire. Jim had to get it. It reminded him of the fire they used to light and tell stories around, of the fire that he believed his mother had deep down. Jim raced quickly now up to the top. He got it, picked it, and then took right off. He rolled and rolled and rolled right on down till he hit the bottom of the mountain, and what he had found was a change in seasons. The flowers that once grew here were dead and gone. Jim had changed. The snow that once stung his skin no longer hurt and coated his skin like a marker pen. What am I going to do? My mom won't even recognize me like this. But then he saw the flower that he held. Jim continued to the house and knocked on the door. No response. No answer. What am I gonna do? When he entered, he found that his mother had passed. It smelled of death right inside. Jim began to cry. He rolled next to his mother's bed and sat there for a while. As the sun rose on the next day, Jim picked her up and rolled her out. He rolled her down to the lake and right into the water. She sank to the bottom. At least she could help make some more flowers appear. The next day, when he woke up, he rolled down to the lake to smell the flowers, but when he got there, all of them were dead, and still there was no smell. Jim cried out in a fit of rage and anger. I hate these stupid flowers. I hate them, I hate them, I hate them. Why did I have to go to the top of that stupid mountain? Jim rolled on home to a house full of flowers. Why do they taunt me? Why can't I smell them? I just want to be able to smell them. Jim gathered all the flowers but one and took them outside. He threw them on the ground and rolled right over them. He went back inside and grabbed the begonia, and a note dropped from the side. It was from his mother. Jim picked it up and began to read aloud. Hi, Jim. I hope this note finds you well. I am sorry that you have to see me all sick like this. By now, you have not returned, and I assume you went up the big scary mountain. I hope that you find the thing you were looking for up there, and if you don't, that's okay too. Please make sure that you stop and enjoy the view. I hope that you continue to stop and smell the flowers, because if it wasn't for the flowers that bloomed, there would be nothing in front of that treacherous mountain that loomed, and it might just consume all of us. The next morning, Jim awoke. He grabbed the begonia and chrysanthemum and began to roll. He took the old path that they had avoided. He rolled across the crack and got a crack right across his head. It looks like I'm gonna split right open. Suddenly Jim did. The crack opened up, and out from it sprouted a brand new flower, one that he had never seen before, a violet. He took a deep breath and smelled the most beautiful smell. Wow. It smells exactly like you. And that's my story. Thank you for coming to the subscriber campfire. I hope that you guys enjoyed the story. Please have a wonderful night. Thank you.